I don't have friends. I got family.
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 Family?
Family. Family.
Your family.
Hey, we're heading down to the other side of the world with some Tokyo Drift on our Fast and Furious summer, Troy. Nos!
Sorry, I was going to do a screeching sound, and then my voice stopped. But welcome to the review, or
You're drifting!
Two small town dudes give you our big drifting opinions. Today I'll be Troy to the Max Extreme.
I'm Sean. I'm Sean.
I'm Sean. We are continuing our plow through the Fast and Furious franchise through our Fast and Furious summer. Today's stop, Tokyo. Our goal, drift.
We're drifting into Tokyo.
JT, needless to say, this is the first time I've seen this movie.
It was the first time that I saw it as well. I think every movie from now on is going to be the first time I've seen them. I've only saw the first two.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Uncharted territory.
We're holding hands walking through this undiscovered landscape
That's right.
that is the Fast and Furious franchise.
Laverne and Shirleying it.
We're going to make it after all.
Well, let's dive into some stats, JT. It dropped June 16th, 2006.
Man.
June 16th. That's exactly 13 years ago.
Oh my God.
Almost by 3 days.
Holy cow. This movie can go to the theater and watch itself without parental guidance.
Had a budget of $85 million, domestically raked in $62.5 million. Worldwide raking in $158.4 million. I don't know if it did much good there. Rotten Tomatoes at 38%. IMDb, 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Metacritic, 45%.
Oh.
And Google users, 93% liked it.
Really?
93%. That's why I wrote it down, because it seemed like a very high number.
Google loves this movie.
I'm pretty sure that every single movie that I look up always says Google users 93% liked it, no matter what.
That's just the general consensus of someone that buys a movie. 93% of the time when they buy the movie, they like it.
Yeah. JT?
Yeah.
Because it's a special Fast and Furious show, I will take the reign. I'll take the wheel.
By all means, Troy.
And tell you what happens in this
By all means.
installment. We meet Sean.
Sean.
A 30-year-old
High school
student. Goes to school for the maybe first day amongst a bunch of other 30-year-old high school students.
Yep.
Picks a fight with none other.
Zachary Ty Bryan from Home Improvement.
Clay. Zachary Ty Bryan. And in that little exchange, he gets his ass shipped off to Tokyo.
I can't wait to talk about Zachary Ty Bryan and his inability to know how betting works.
Yeah, we'll dive into it. And while in Tokyo, he finds himself a different kind of racing.
Yeah.
The drift racing.
The Adrift.
And the inept Sean has not yet ever encountered a drift.
Yeah.
How does he stack up against these Tokyo drifters?
Especially against the DK himself.
Yes. Drift King. Spoilers. What comes of Sean? Find out in our review.
God damn it.
Yeah. So, let's just start at the beginning.
All right.
Sean, I did the math. He's 4 years older than us. So when this came out in 2006, he was at least 24. He looks 30, though. He went to school with his shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
He's looking like a 30-year-old stupid asshole with a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. But he blends in pretty well because it looks like he went to Held Back High. Because everyone...
It's everyone's 7th year at high school. And I have notes chronologically as I was going through the movie, and I already mentioned that welcome to high school, where everyone who's 30-something pretend to be almost 18.
My first note is, dude's southern accent is the shits.
You know what the bad thing is? I think he's actually from Alabama. So, like, that might be just a real southern accent, and we've heard so many fake ones that
He's been trying he's been trying so hard for so long that it just kind of blended in.
Yeah. So I also like to point at this, that Sean's mom has to make sure she says, like, you're almost 18. They'll charge you for an adult or something like that. Charge him for what, you say, JT? Well, let's get into it. This is where he meets Clay, Zachary Ty Bryan, and his dad's Dodge Viper. Was it his dad's?
No, I think it's his. I think he says that it's his.
Okay. And that's going up against whatever car that
I don't know.
Sean drove. But anyway.
Doesn't he insinuate that it's American Muscle just like all the other ones are too? Like the guy Zachary Ty Bryan talks shit about it, and he was like, "Hey man, this is American Muscle. You don't talk shit about American Muscle."
He does throw a baseball through his back window.
Yeah.
That puts Sean in a bit of a bad mood.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
He's so pissed that he challenged him to a race.
And the winner gets the girl.
No, winner gets slips. And then Zachary Ty Bryan is like, I don't want that piece of junk car. And then his girlfriend's like, well, then the winner gets me. And he's like, sounds like a good bet. So you're losing more.
And it was her idea.
Yeah.
And when she said, the winner gets me, I was like, fuck this. This is here's my next note, I think. Oh shit. Maybe I say it way down. This movie is the grossest male power fantasy I've ever seen. So anyway, a race ensues, doesn't it, JT?
Yeah. They race through a construction site,
yes.
Which is, safe.
Right. Looked like a gated community up for construction.
Yeah.
Just ramping through there.
Yeah.
No drifting.
No drifting yet.
This is real American racing with American muscle. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Is a Viper American Muscle?
I don't know.
I don't know
made by
either.
Dodge. It's
Sure.
American at least.
Yeah.
Unless it was made in China. I have no idea. Regardless, they're racing through this thing.
Yeah. And it ends in what should have killed them.
Yes! I had that! That's my third note. The car wreck through the construction site should have killed both of them.
Yeah.
And both of them...
Especially Zachary Ty Bryan's, because the roof of the car comes off on his. It's like, that should have cut your head off.
Yeah, he hits a concrete slab dead center of his car. Both his girlfriend and Zachary Ty Bryan are in it, and they walked away with not so much as a bloody nose and maybe a goose egg.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sean's car does like a total
Flips
end
like
over
9
end.
times.
His total frame bending and twisting, his body of his car flying off, and he's just hanging there upside down like, man, what a close one. They both meet up at the hospital or something, or the police station.
They're all at the police station.
And that's where you meet the mom saying, we've moved very often.
Yeah.
3 times in 2 years or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Some insane number because of his reckless
I want to know
behavior.
what deal this mom cut, because it's pretty much looking like he's going to go to jail, and then out of nowhere, they're like, I cut a deal. You're moving to Japan with your dad.
Yeah.
But then, the sergeant does it, and then you never see the mom again. So then it's like, what deal did the mom cut?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I thought bad things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would I put it past this movie? No. But they never say anything.
Does the sergeant own his mom now?
Was there some sort of job that went down in that room?
Did some kind of human trafficking thing just occur?
Anyway, regardless, he let her smoke in the room. So maybe it's just her southern charm.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
Even though it's clearly said no smoking on the sign right behind them.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's going to let it slide.
Yeah.
She's just a tired southern belle with a little shit for brains son, Sean, who can't stop racing.
He loves racing. You can't stop him.
You can't stop him from racing. So the next scene, you see him shipped off to Japan.
To Japan, where he walks in on his dad paying off a prostitute.
Or maybe doing what his mom did to the sergeant.
Maybe it's like maybe they're doing like a house swap thing.
Yeah. Regardless, caught his dad at a bad time.
Yeah.
Dad shooing away the lovely young lady from his house as he throws on a kimono or whatever else. Only to be kind of shunned by his dad. Dad of being a military man. You could tell he was in the armed services.
already like, look,
because
Sean,
he's wearing a Navy sweatshirt.
I know you're here because you fucked up. So I'm just going to treat you like shit the whole time you're here.
Right.
And then once it gets to the point where you just stop showing up at home, I'm going to stop caring.
Also, I'm going to stop being in the movie.
I'm just here to show you this car I'm working on so it comes back later.
Yeah. That's called foreshadowing. So Sean gets shipped off to school to another. Well, it's hard to gauge how old all these Japanese students are.
Look out, Troy.
They
Tread
just
lightly.
They just look youthful. Their culture, everybody just looks insanely youthful until they're super old. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Good on them. Us white people age terribly. So once there, he runs into Lil Bow Wow,
Yeah.
nicknamed Twinkie in this movie.
Yeah, why was he named Twinkie again?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you at all. But Lil Bow Wow, Lil Bow Wow,
He's got a sweet Hulk car.
he's got, oh my god. The worst thing I've ever seen is that Hulk car.
Really?
That was the shittiest looking car in the world. Are you kidding me? It took me a very long time to figure out what was on the back of his car when they opened that door. And I'm like, what is that?
It totally took me a while to realize that Universal does in fact own the Hulk.
Yeah, because not only does Universal own the Hulk, because you could tell from his Hulk Scion or whatever it is, but also later on, now I can't remember his name, but he's also reading a Hulk comic book. It's just like Universal is like rubbing it in that they own the Hulk. Jesus.
This is probably like right when Marvel starts coming out where it's like, gotta throw some Marvel shit in here, guys.
Yeah. It's probably about when like Marvel bought or got bought out by Disney. 2006?
Yeah. So no, they're just pissing on what they own to be like, you can't take this.
I can't remember, but it's probably around that time. So from here, Lil Bow Wow takes him to one of the only places he knows where to go.
Yeah.
The Underground Drift Club.
Yeah, in a parking garage.
In a parking garage.
Which, I had a note about this where they showed all the patrons there, and it said all the women are wearing miniskirts in this movie that are just comically thick belts.
The belts as big as their miniskirts.
Yeah. No, like, the miniskirts are, in fact, just thick belts.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And all they do is park there, open up the cars, and dance. Because there's not a whole lot of racing going on.
Yeah.
I saw
but, I mean,
maybe two?
How different is this from the other two movies, though, Troy?
Not very.
I think
It's not very.
there's a party like this in every single Fast and Furious we've seen so far, where people
Yeah.
just park and play loud shit in their cars.
Right. Open up all the hoods. It's just, my God. After the Hulk car is the worst thing I've ever seen note,
Yeah.
I said, the guy continuously eating snacks is my homeboy. Which we later
Han?
find out is Han,
Yeah.
who is integral to the plot of this movie.
Yes.
And
Motherfucker loves corn nuts.
My God. I couldn't tell what he was eating at first. It just looks like cubes of cheese. But, like, this guy is playing it cool through this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's just mowing down on cubes of snacks. Just cool as a cucumber. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this guy, I want to see more of this guy. Then, I was pleasantly pleased to see he's very littered throughout a good chunk of this movie.
Yeah. Remind me about him after we're done talking about this, because I've got something to bring up later about the series as it continues.
I think I know where you're going with that, and I will write it down.
Okay.
Han, underlined, circled.
But yeah, Han is, I like Han in this movie. Like, he's just like a cool guy where it's like, he gives freaking Sean his car and Sean just completely demolishes it and he's like, whatever.
Pop more cubes of
Yeah.
cheese.
He's like watching Sean mutilate his car and just like, oh shit.
Bummer.
Thought he would do that.
Just a kid.
Okay, now Troy,
Yeah,
judge me all you want, but I thought the drifting was really cool in this.
I am judging you because one of my notes is this. Verbatim, a whole movie based just around drifting. Jesus.
I thought the drifting was cool. It's better than these stupid races they do where at least this takes skill. Like the other two movies was just let's pump your car full of as much shit as possible so we can go really fast down a straight line.
I hate to say it. I missed NOS. I wanted more NOS. They had it maybe once in this movie. They hit some NOS when they got up to 196 kilos per hour.
Yeah. That's right. We're going kilometers in this bitch.
That's right.
We're in Japan, motherfucker.
That's right, where Han tells Sean the cops don't chase you if you're over 180 kilos per hour
Yeah.
because they don't go that fast. Just a heads up. So
There you
obey
go.
the speed limit or just obliterate it completely.
Yeah. Either obey it or just completely go as fast as possible.
Either way, you're fine. So that's the only time he nosses up, except you see one more thing of nos when they're opening up a garage and there's a motorcycle with two things of nos
Yeah,
on it.
I want to see them drive that thing.
Yeah, that thing would take off into space.
You just shoot that thing over to Mars.
But yeah, I could not stand the drifting in this.
But I liked it because this is the first time where it felt like the racing was a skill and not just like the racing was just a MacGuffin to appease to some other thing, because the racing in those other two movies needed no skill. It was just how much bullshit can you put in your motors to go as fast as possible.
But isn't that racing?
It is racing, but this is like skilled racing. Like, I don't know. I thought it was
It
when they
just
do
seems
when they have
slower.
when they have that race when he's going up that ramp and he's like drifting the whole way up the ramp where it's like all in a continuous circle. I was like, okay, that takes some skill.
Okay, I can say yes. It just wasn't as interesting to watch. It slowly just skid, and it was like I was getting bored. Like a lot. I'm like, I don't care about this. Like, I don't care about this fucking drifting, this Tokyo drifting. I don't understand it. I can't get behind it.
I was a fan of watching Sean play Johnny Knoxville from Jackass, trying to keep up. Or is just hey, I'm Sean, and I'm gonna try drifting.
It just runs into literally everything.
Dude, I was losing my shit a couple times when it was like they would do from the point of view of the headlights, and you just see like Japanese people scurrying away.
Yeah.
When he's just like ramming his car into walls.
Yeah, or just fishtailing into other cars, and then you just tell like, oh,
Yeah, everyone's like, oh.
Sean running into a bunch of barrels. It's like, God. But yeah, I could not get into the drifting, JT. I'm so sorry. I don't want to just poo-poo on your drift parade, but I just couldn't get behind it. It wasn't exciting enough for me.
Hey man, I'll agree. Different strokes for different folks, but
They weren't. If they drifted under a semi, then oh my,
geez.
could you imagine?
yeah.
They didn't pull that move off in this movie. That's what they've done the last two so far is drive under a semi.
Did they
And
drive? Okay, they did drive under a semi in the second one, and that's the one that got ran over by a semi.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I appreciated the fact that the racing was actually a part of the plot in this, and not just we're racing, but we're actually undercover, trying to find out about this criminal underground organization, which they do in this too, but but it actually felt like the racing had stakes to it, as opposed to the racing was just, hey, we're racing because we're cool.
I almost missed it. I kind of grown accustomed to that's what this franchise is now.
Yeah.
And this one played it a little more subdued.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of missed the ridiculousness of
Oh my
it.
God.
I don't know
Troy,
what's happening to me.
Did Tokyo Drift make you love Fast and Furious?
It may be in juxtaposition, like next to each other. I feel like I missed freaking Paul Walker
Oh no.
just pumping his car full of nos,
Sean
being
is-
undercover.
Sean is the most discount Paul Walker.
Oh my God, is he? He is the dollar store Paul Walker,
He's-
and that's saying a lot.
No,
Because
he's
Paul
the-
Walker kind of sucks.
He's the thrift store Paul Walker.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't want. No offense towards Paul Walker. He did great things
No.
for like Make-A-Wish and all that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. But like, I don't think he's that great of an actor.
But Sean's worse.
He's just bland. I can't say he's worse. I
don't
can't say
know.
he's better.
There's times where like it's supposed to be like a really like intense scene, and he has the same tone of voice.
He has the same face throughout the whole thing.
Oh, he does. The dude's made of concrete. He does not change facial expression.
Even when he's
ever.
like attempting to drift into things, he's still got that thing where he's kind of like puckered faced,
yeah,
kind of one eyebrow cocked.
yeah. He's got like he goes from like just stone face to bitter beer face.
Kind of, yeah. So from here on out, he teams up with Han to go against DK, the Drift King, who he lost the drift race to.
Yeah. Well, technically, they're doing like pretty much what Dom and Paul Walker did, where it's like, hey, you fucked up my car, so now you owe me another car.
Yeah.
And you're gonna work it out. You're gonna
jobs
work
for
it
me.
off for me.
Yeah. So you see a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. It kind of just jumps into like, here, I'm going to give you this red car. Just continue to do stuff for him, but then you don't
Yeah.
see a whole lot else. You kind of dive into a little bit of DK's stuff a little bit, because apparently he's Yakuza.
Yeah.
But he isn't.
No, his uncle is. I think.
Yeah. Uncle Yakuza.
Yeah.
Coming the first
we'll
time you
talk-
see him.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to talk about
Oh,
him.
we'll get there then. We'll get there then.
But before we go on anymore, before Sean and DK race for the first time, Sean is the worst at insulting people.
What was he even saying?
He just kept calling him Justin Timberlake.
And like, I was trying to like harken back to 2006, and I'm like, is that a diss?
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake? Because now if you say it, it's like Justin Timberlake's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like he's the worst at insulting, because like, he's just like, you can't race, fuck you, whatever. And he walks away, and then Sean's like, whatever, Timberlake. And you're like,
Is that bad?
what the fuck is happening? I
mean,
he seems pretty successful.
Very popular lead singer to a band. And went off to have a stunning solo career. Have beautiful children with a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in the news now about
Yeah.
stuff, but
We'll leave that alone.
but he stayed clear of it.
Hopefully.
Well, let's just drop it. Needless to say, the Justin Timberlake argument did not make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So yes, he is a shitty insulter. And I can't even remember what the Japanese insult to him was.
I don't either.
Something about being a greenhorn. or something.
A gaijin.
Yeah, whatever that is.
It just means foreigner in Japanese. I only know that because wrestlers from other countries in Japan are called gaijin.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me in.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant.
Welcome in.
Even if they said it in the movie, I missed it. So, thank you. Thank you. So, also, we have a little bit of a love triangle. A bit.
Yeah.
I guess. DK's super hot and, of course, going to be the main character of this movie, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because she's the hottest one. Also has, like, childhood issues.
Yeah, what was her whole deal again? I can't even remember.
She is a foreigner, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I don't-
Something like her dad was a foreigner, so then there was like, it's like a whole Harry Potter thing where they just like call her Mudblood, but they just like call her Gaiji.
And like her mom was Australian and
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
like a prostitute or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like,
Yeah. It's like that whole thing was putting me to bed. I tell you what. Like that's like a good chunk of the second act of this movie too.
yeah,
It's like it kind of like falls back on a little bit of the like action, which I kind of needed, like a little kick on the
to
pants.
stay awake.
Because like I had not a lot of sleep last night. I've been
Yeah.
putting in overtime at work.
I hear ya.
So I came home, had a 5-hour energy, and was sipping on a Monster.
Yeah.
And I was still kind of dozing off in parts of this. It just needed something. It needed a kick in the pants.
Yeah.
It needed more nos. That's
Yeah.
what it needed.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree that this movie probably needed more action, but to me personally, I was really fascinated by like Tokyo. Like when they would show stuff, 'cause it's like
Just by the set dressing?
no, just like the city itself. Like I feel like movies that take place in Tokyo, they don't take the time to like show how the city itself is like set up. And like there was like some cool moments in here where I was like, that's weird. Where it's like the dad's garage is like across the street from his apartment, or like his garage is in a completely different building. I'm like, so do you rent out from both that building and that building? And then like how like everything in Tokyo is kind of stacked on top of itself. It's like so
Densely
overpopulated that they like have like a soccer field on top of like a skyscraper.
You took way different things out of this movie than I
I don't know.
did.
I was really digging like all like the whole Tokyo aesthetic about it. Like everything just looked. I don't know. I just like the look of Tokyo.
No, I mean, props to you. I did not see any of this. I totally flew past me.
No, like I don't know. I think that's what kind of got me through like a lot of the quieter moments in this, where like they just took the time. I don't think there's a lot of movies that take place in Tokyo that are like, let's see what an everyday life is like in Tokyo. And I feel like it took its time and actually showed like, yeah, like everything is so stacked on top of each other that we have soccer fields on top of buildings because we don't have the actual space for a soccer field on the ground.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose I could see that. But, again, I missed it.
I feel you.
I was, like, kind of looking for something, or I would go down to jot down a note during these slower moments. Because it was just, like, probably 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes. Of, like, the jealousy of DK, of the chick. Who was the chick's name?
I can't remember.
Anyway, the chick talking to Sean.
Yeah.
Sean getting bruised up. And then just, like, rinse and repeat
Sean
few
getting his
times.
ass kicked by, like, star suspenders.
Yeah. whatever his problem was. Just handed over an iPod.
Yeah.
Kicking
Fuck
Twinkie's ass.
Little Bow Wow living up to, like, the whole theme of the series where if you're a black rapper, you have to be, like, a shyster where you're, like,
Yeah.
selling shit to people.
Yeah. But his is he's like selling discount shit to people.
Yeah, he's, like, selling, like, flip phones and iPods.
Oh, you know, it was also a blast from the past seeing people record the drifting on a flip phone. Like, oh my god, that looks so dated now.
Yeah.
But like, it's so
I know.
nice
There's
blast
that
from the
weird
past.
scene like at the very end when he's doing that final race where they like do like these like weird scenes where like they zoom in on people's flip phones and like show more footage into another flip phone. Like, this is so dated, which is gonna be even funnier when I talk about what we're talking about after we talk about all this.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. So where are we at coming through this movie now?
I want to bring up the second party that Han brings Sean to,
Oh, okay.
which I like to pleasantly call Oasis 2.
Oasis,
Like
for
he,
sure.
he brings him to a garage. Like I think like Sean's already done like a couple jobs for him or whatever, and then they go to this party in this other garage. They walk in and it looks like nothing but underage Asian girls.
and Twinkie.
Where I was like, like I legit like wrote down Oasis 2.
Yeah, there was like just a sea of very questionable age women.
Yeah.
Twinkie and a fat dude just chilling out, dancing.
Yeah, just being swarmed by girls like they're gnats. Like they're just like hanging on his like enormous body.
Yeah, just like
Motherfucker looks like Fat Joe, and they're just like,
and then, like literally gnats like that are in my yard to my face. That's what it was.
and this scene also has my new least favorite line in the entire series, where Little Bow Wow says, "I don't think outside the box, I tear it up."
Ugh. God.
I let out an audible groan when he said that.
This is where I jotted down the note that this is the grossest male power fantasy like I've ever seen.
Yeah.
'Cause I walk into this and like chicks are just making out with each other and anybody in the room.
Making
and,
out on
like,
top of fake Fat Joe
I'm
and
like, oh my god, it's sickening. This leads him to get his red car.
Yeah.
Eventually, because it somehow winds around and then they're in a garage somewhere.
yeah, like he gets his new car and then they do a drifting montage where he has to learn how to get better. Which
on some wharf.
yeah, next to two old dudes fishing, where I was like, "That's Troy."
That's Japanese me.
Yep.
Just fishing.
Just two old dudes fishing, talking shit about this guy drifting. Where I'm like, "Yep, that's Troy."
You know me. Eventually, he does get the hang of the drift. And boy,
Yeah.
when he learns to drift, does he ever
He gets
drift.
so good at it.
Then he gets end up being chased by DK through the streets of Tokyo.
Yeah. Well, they introduce. This is around the time when they introduce the Yakuza uncle, who I fucking loved in this.
Uncle Yakuza?
Hattori Hanzo from Kill Bill.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I haven't seen Kill Bill in forever. He didn't look familiar to me.
Yeah. Was it Sonny Chiba, I think his name is? But dude is... I wanted him in more of this movie. He's so fucking good.
I did kind of perk up when he came in, and it
Yeah.
like seemed like everyone was intimidated by him, and I'm like, all
Yeah.
right,
And he's like-
strutting here like a Japanese ball hog, all
And he's like-
dressed in white.
And he's like sitting back and he's like just asking like all these questions of like his fucking nephew, or he's like, "Hey, so found out that we're losing some money." He's like, "Oh, really?" Like, "Yeah, I should probably find out where that's going." And we'll just like stare at him where it's like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah, he's like, while complicated, I can even tell that somebody's skimming money off the top,
Yeah.
and you could just see like DK just
Yeah.
sweat.
Yeah. Like he has like this presence about him where it's like he's pretty much acts like a nice guy the whole time, but it's just like the way his nephew reacts to what he's saying where it's like, this guy could fuck you up.
This guy will just fly off the handle. You don't even know what he's capable of.
It's like, so I see you're losing money. He's like, "Oh, no, we're not." It's like, "No, you are. I've been paying attention. You should probably pay more attention. You should probably find that money." And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Then he like just kind of gets up and leaves the room. And you're
Yeah.
like, and he turns around and he's got like a single tear going down his face.
Yeah.
A fear tear.
A
if you
fear
may.
tear?
Yeah.
But he, like, around this point was when I was actually really starting to dig the movie, because it takes like a total new gear to it, where it's like fucking the DK dude goes off the handle and just starts like threatening everybody.
Yeah.
And then of course Han is the one that's skimming, so he runs away.
Right. I like when DK confronts Han. He's like, "You've been taking money from me." And he's like, "Yeah, This isn't like a charity or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
but
We're
no,
not reputable people.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's like he's an asshole and like yeah he has power, but no one ever really takes him seriously. It's not up until this point when like Han dies where everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
this guy's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, so we'll wrap around to this too. So during this chase through the streets of Tokyo,
Yeah.
like Han's car ends up like crashing and flipping over and then like explodes, right?
Yeah, yep.
But then like as we would travel back to this moment because like future installments of this movie franchise,
Yep.
It's just like, so that's how he went out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
We'll talk about that when we're done. I can't wait because I just love the whole story of this whole thing. But yeah, no, we'll get back to it. But no, I like where like the story feels like it definitely takes like a shift in tempo where like we get to a point now where like people are actually dying and Sean's like, well fuck, I don't want to actually kind of like it here. Like the main reason I fuck off everywhere is because I don't like it there.
Yeah.
And now I finally get here where I like it and now I'm forced to leave. So like I don't know, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Sean as a character, I like the whole thing of like him just going to Sonny Chiba and being like, look, you can kill me regardless, but I'm going to challenge your fucking nephew to a race, and then loser leaves town. And then it's like, after that, if you still want to kill me, you can kill me, but I'm just showing that I have the balls to go into your house and challenge him. And he's just, and then like, the nephew's just like, fuck you, man, you can't beat me. And he's like, well, you scared? Oh, you'll be a little bitch right now, huh? I just came into your house and challenged you. You should probably take the challenge.
Being a total Timberlake right now.
Yeah, you're being a total Timberlake. Because, like, yeah, like, maybe if you're not a big fan of the drifting, I understand that, but I like the whole idea of, like, taking the racing aspect of Fast and Furious and actually putting stakes behind it to where it's, like, now the racing is an aspect of the story and not just a thing where it's, like, well, the main thing is I'm following these crime bosses, but we race on the side too. Like, no, this race has stakes behind it.
Any better integrated into the plot than any other Fast and Furious movie to date.
No, like the
well,
fact
not
that it's
to date, but as we recorded.
Yeah, but like the fact that it's drifting and he's not that good at it, and then like they do the whole thing where like they like mix like an engine made for drifting with like an American chassis where it's like the best of the West meets the best of the East, and they're like doing this whole thing where like he's building the perfect drifting car and he's got a train and shit. Like, I'm not gonna say it's Rocky, but it's like the drifting version of Rocky.
Okay.
Especially like the race itself was kind of cool to watch, where it's like he's not a good drifter at all. Like he still sucks even in the last race. It's just the fact that he gets so close to this DK dude that like he panics and then crashes himself, and then Sean ends up winning in the end.
Yeah,
where it was like that's like a total like Rocky fight of a drift, where like he still sucks.
Okay,
but like he's still hanging in there to the point where like now the expert drifter is panicking and he's the one making the mistakes that cost him the race.
All right. You had a lot more time to think about this.
I did. I watched it like 2 weeks ago. So.
I just finished it, like maybe an hour ago.
But no, like that last race, I feel like it out of all the other races that just feel like just throwaway bullshit where it's like, I'm nossing, now I'm nossing. Oh, I got another nos. I win.
Trick third nos.
But with this, like, because it's drifting, like they actually have to have skill and they can actually tell a story based on the skill that they have.
Yep. I am blown away that
What?
you took way more out of this movie than I ever thought you would.
To be honest, I think this is my favorite Fast and Furious movie so far.
Fuck out of here.
Granted, I don't like Sean and I don't like DK because I think they're both shit actors. But everything that surrounds them, like the whole environment of Tokyo, like Han's really cool. Like the whole idea that drifting takes all this skill and he has to learn it on like from like square one. Like take his whole aspect of racing and then totally manipulate it to where now he can drift. I liked it.
I am stunned. I am stunned.
I'm not gonna say it's like a perfect movie, but I feel like they take aspects of racing and actually make the racing mean something instead of just pumping your car full of bullshit.
You really surprised me this day.
Are we still friends, Troy?
We are,
Okay.
but my mind is adrift. My goodness. You've really taken me back. I am shocked. I really thought this is going to be another one you're like, all right, strap in. Because
I was ready to. Like, from what I saw of it, where it looks so low budget compared to all the other ones, where it was like, this felt like such like a throwaway, like, straight to DVD, like, we're going to capitalize off the Fast and Furious name and then try and get a bunch of money off of that, but I don't know, with this, it felt like they actually used the racing to its full potential.
I would even say by like the opening credits alone, it felt like a Fast and Furious presents Tokyo Drift or whatever, something, because it looked very
everything about this screams like straight to DVD.
It does, yeah.
But then you see, like, the director's Justin Lin.
I know, and he goes on to do, like, the rest of them.
I know. So, like, it makes me excited to see the rest of them now, because it was like, it felt like he took the racing and made it a part of the story instead of just, and they race too.
But, like, this is also the last one, too, that had the original screenwriter.
Yeah.
So, like, this guy wrote also 1 and 2.
Okay.
But then Justin Lin was the one who picked it up as director from here and directed him here on out.
Yeah.
And then after this one, they have multiple different writers and
Gotcha.
stuff. So, I mean, the budget on this is lower than the last 2 that came out, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It also is like half of the international box office, even domestic box office too. Like, this did very badly.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure it did awful.
To the point where I don't even remember when the next entry of this is.
The only original cast member in this is Dom at the end.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to get to Dom at the end?
Yeah, well, before that, like, after Sean wins the race, I love the whole thing of, like, him just, like, standing there, like, just expecting Sonny Chiba to blow him away, and he's just like, all right, you're in your spot. And then he left.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like the whole thing of, like, I'm going to take this racing and show you that I want to be here. Where, like, Sonny Chiba was just like, all right, you earned it. Fuck my nephew.
Fuck my nephew. Yeah. Oh, I guess it's not, like, that big of a difference between, like, Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. You said this is the one that made the least amount of money, though, right?
Yeah. Like, domestically, it made $62 million. Too Fast, Too Furious is the next one up the list, and it made double that.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And I think Too Fast, Too Furious fucking sucks.
I'm going to say that so far, that one's my favorite one.
Really?
I think it is.
Now you're making me adrift, Troy.
Well, I think I dropped that bombshell on you last week.
Oh, I know.
The last episode, I'm like, I kind of like this one. Where I'm like, I kind of fell into, like, they set up what it is in the first one, that ridiculous kind of premise, and I'm like, okay, if that's what they're doing, let's see what they got in the next one.
Yeah.
I ended up really liking Tyrese.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's do this ridiculous plot. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
And then they kind of did a departure to this.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know if this is what I want from the movie.
Like,
so when they jump into where the series eventually goes, I think I'm going to get really into this franchise, because that's what I'm kind of looking for.
I might too. We might start loving Fast and Furious, Troy.
What is happening?
What's happened to us? It feels like these 3 movies have, like, conditioned us to start loving Fast and Furious from here on in.
I know, and it's not making me like cars anymore.
No.
I still hate cars, but I'm looking forward to where this story is taking me.
Like, these first 3 movies is the brainwashing into where you start to love Fast and Furious.
It really is. So the end of this movie, Sean wins. Sean is new DK.
Sean is new DK.
And he is now the freaking champion of drifting.
Yeah.
He's now head honcho in this car park.
And he's back at the garage where women wear extremely large belts as skirts. And they're like, hey, some guy wants to challenge you there, DK. He's like, oh, I'll do it later. He's like, he was a friend of Han's. And he just does the dramatic turnaround. And then he gets in his car and he lines up with the dude, and it turns out to be Dom.
That's right.
And Dom was like, yeah, I knew Han back when he was like, something like
when we ran together or something like
some
that.
bullshit. And then they start racing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so does Dom know how to drift then?
Apparently
when did Dom learn how to drift?
I would assume Dom knows how to do everything with a car.
I'm sure. Dom can perform surgery with a car.
Yeah. He just runs into you so
He
hard.
just runs into you so hard that your fucking tonsils pop out.
There you go, fam. Have a Corona.
I only do that for family. Here's this half-drank Corona.
Just squeeze a lime.
I took it from a guy that I'm pissed at.
So that leads us back to Han.
Yeah. So no, you're all caught up on like this whole thing.
I read about it, yes.
Okay. So I guess after this movie came out and they started making more Fast and Furious movies, I guess a big consensus among the fans was that Han is a really popular character. But can't really use him in the rest of the Fast and Furious movies because he dies, and it dies in a way where he's dead.
Yeah, it's pretty
cut and dry. They show him hanging upside down in his car when it blows up.
Yeah.
He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
So what do? They make all the other movies up to 6 before this movie.
Yes.
So this movie takes place after the events of Fast and Furious 6.
Yes.
So they can include Han in the next
couple more.
in the next 3 movies.
Yeah. Because I went through IMDb because I thought Han looked familiar. So I went through his filmography, and he wasn't in anything that I guess I would really know. I might have seen him on a few TV things.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe I don't know him. But then I was like, wait a minute. He's in Fast and Furious? He's in Fast 5? Fast and Furious 6? What is going on here? And then I went on and read that's like, oh, so this one takes place after 6, but before 7.
Yeah.
And then they go on to do other things from there.
Yeah.
So what we can expect is Sean comes back.
Sean comes back in 7.
Does he?
Yeah, because Dom doesn't know Sean up until after Han's dead.
Does he really show up in 7?
He shows up in 7. I looked it up.
Yes!
Sean comes back in 7.
Sean is back, baby.
I don't know. I don't think he's in 8, but I saw that he's at least in 7.
That's okay. It's okay, really. But, oh my god. I'm ready for this franchise to take me for a ride.
But you know how Han died, like, they do a cutscene after 6, right?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, well, I won't spoil it for you then. But
okay.
They go back to the events of this after 6, and they show how Han really dies.
Oh my. Save it for me.
We'll
double back when we get there.
Just make sure you watch after the credits for 6.
Okay.
Because I heard about it, and it made me pop so hard. I was like, no fucking way. I love this.
Wait. Oh my god. So, that being said, JT, what would you rate Tokyo Drift?
Well, like I said, Troy, up to this point, I think this is my favorite Fast and Furious. It's gonna blow your mind.
Insane.
But I think it's my favorite one so far. Like, I'm not a big fan of Sean, and I'm not a big fan of the Asian DK guy. But the things that surround them, I kind of dig. I love Tokyo. I love I love the idea of drifting and the fact that it actually takes skill to race, to do drifting, and how they play on that. So I'm probably gonna give this like maybe just a little higher than a B-.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna give this maybe like a decent B.
A B- plus.
Yeah. Just right above a B. Like you know what? I'll give it right in the middle of a B. A middle B.
Okay. I didn't like it as much, but I was trying to go back and see what I voted or I graded the other ones, and I didn't write them down. But I think I'm going to go with a C for Tokyo Drift.
Gotcha.
Maybe even not a C-, but like I'm verging there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into the movie. It's like it was a bit of a departure from where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
I didn't care about drifting. I just thought Sean was a little flat. I don't know. I could
Maybe it just hit me in a different way. Maybe, like, if I would have watched it on a wrong day, maybe I would have fucking hated this movie. I don't know. But I don't know.
Stars aligned.
I was digging it.
All right. All right. Well, there you have it.
There you go.
The third stop in our Fast and Furious summer.
Coming up next, we're doing Fast and Furious.
That's right.
Dropping the thes.
That's right. Get them out of here.
Get
Drop
those
the articles.
thes out of there.
We're just getting right to the meat.
Fast and Furious. The whole gang's back. Dom's coming back.
Can't.
Brian's coming back.
Brian, get in here, Brian.
Come back, Brian.
So that will be in a couple weeks if we don't. Maybe next Monday if we don't have anything coming.
It'll come up sometime. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Pretty soon. But what do we got coming up Thursday?
Thursday we got Black Mirror season 5.
That's right. So study up on
Study
your
up.
Black Mirror.
Get them three eps in.
Yeah. And I think that'll do it.
They'll do it.
We'll do it. If you want to hit us up on the social medias, JT, where could they do that?
They can drift into my DMs at Bucky for everyone on Twitter. Also Bucky for everyone on Instagram and Bucky for everyone on Snapchat.
I'm not going to beat that. So you can hit me up at Short of the Max on Twitter. If you want to hit us both up at Review Pod on Twitter, we'll do it as well. This episode is uploaded onto a multitude of different things. You can find us almost on any podcast streaming platform. If you want to write into the show, you can do so at reviewreviewpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There you go.
Good app.
Good app.
Good app. Good.
Surprised you with that one, didn't I,
I know,
Troy?
you dropped a bombshell on me here. All right. So that'll do it. Until next time, I've been Short of the Max Extreme.
I am JG3K.
We are off.